welcome back to the podcast. Today we are interviewing these two, Wild and Roam. They offer photo and video. Guys, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Dryden.
I'm Emily.
We are Wild and Roam. We specialize in travel and destination luxury weddings and are pretty much all about the party, all about the fun.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, and I actually found you guys because of those videos. Like, I remember we worked a wedding. When was it, James? It's been a while. Was it 21?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was Joe and Carol. No, not Joe and Carol.
We
No, it
worked
was.
with that. We worked with y'all with that one too. But
Yeah.
It was
Jessica
Michael and
Michael.
Michael and Jessica.
that was it. And I just remember y'all were
Virginia.
literally just so vocal. Like, we can get into like all of the things that I have questions later for you guys. But yours just so vocal, so friendly, and just so much fun to work with. So we really enjoyed working with y'all.
Well, we had fun working with you guys too.
Thanks. I'm
It's
so
always fun
glad.
when you get to work with another husband-wife team. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that, like, I mean, I'm sure y'all have seen the industry too. It's mostly just like friends hiring friends. It's
Yeah.
not like, I mean, it's just different. You can count on each other a lot differently than you can just like friends working with you.
Sure.
absolutely. And as a husband-wife team, since we do so much like photo, video stuff, it's not very often we get to work with another husband-wife team at the same time.
That is true.
So I love that too. It's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, and y'all offer both photo and video, whereas James and I would just do photo mainly.
But you guys kill it.
We do one
but-
thing really well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, and honestly, like, just for like what you guys do, like, it is a lot of work, and I know like y'all have put your heart and soul into your business, and just watching you guys like grow so much since we've like just started working with you years ago, like y'all have grown so much. I'm just so proud of y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, today we're going to go over, this episode is really going to be geared towards like couples, helping them really just pick the team that's right for them
Yeah.
and their wedding day. So the first question that I had from a previous bride was, what are some things that they should look for when going to hire a video team?
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple that I want to say that I feel like are basics off the bat that most people should be doing these days, which is like shooting 4K, making sure they have multiple cameras for different angles, things like that. But that's pretty standard these days. We still run into some people that are still doing 1080p, but not a lot. But 4K is pretty standard. So I'd say it's worth doing, especially because a lot of people we know love to watch their film like on their TV and like, whether it's on YouTube or through another app. But, with 4K, it'll really help. You can actually watch it on your TV and it'll look good.
I mean, when you're looking at the videos, you're looking for audio
Yes.
usage. Like,
Yeah.
they're clearly miking up the groom at least. We often mic up the groom and the officiant. So you're looking for audio usage. You don't just want like a straight trailer, I guess, music video type thing.
Yeah. Well, and like I have noticed some people, I feel like some videos that'll just have like a toast.
Right.
They don't have any variety. So does that matter too? Like maybe variety in audio?
Yeah, I'd say so
variety's
too. I'd say that's really important.
The biggest angle on the audio thing is the storytelling. I mean, you're using the audio to tell a story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not just somebody's vows are there. I mean, you're using it to tell the story of their day and of their love story.
Yeah. Another thing I can think of is, and I hate mentioning this as something to look out to because I don't want this to like fall on the bride to know this, but like if your videographer is offering drone, they should most definitely be licensed. Because if they're not a licensed drone flyer, there are actually people from the FAA who look through the internet on a daily basis looking for people posting footage with drones that they're not authorized to fly, and those videos can get taken down. So like if they put your wedding film up on YouTube for you to be able to share around and the FAA finds it, your wedding video is coming right down. They don't care because they weren't licensed to be flying the drone in that area. So, it's not one of those things that I want brides to have to like be responsible for their videographer being licensed. But if they have the chance, they just confirm, hey, you guys offer drone. That's awesome. Are you guys licensed to do that? Something like that is always a good idea to check because last thing you want is your video getting taken down from the internet.
Right. Well, and that's actually kind of lining up with the next question, which is, are there any red flags that you have seen or maybe even you did yourself back in the day? Like we have some of those ourselves, but do you have any red flags for finding a video team?
Yeah. I mean, number one, make sure they're licensed.
Yeah.
Make sure if they're going to offer drone, make sure they're licensed. Please do that. That would be a big one, obviously.
Multiple audio sources.
Yeah. Yeah, making sure, usually our goal is to collect audio from any given moment from like at least 2 to 4 different places at one time.
So I guess the red flag version of that would be not multiple audio sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another one I was just thinking of too. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh shoot. Come back to me.
Okay.
Probably handheld the entire day.
Well, that's not
Oh.
true. That's some people's style. Like Jay and Mac.
Entire day is not good.
I don't know about that. Okay, we're gonna
That's
have
an
we're
arm
gonna have a
workout.
difference of opinion here.
Well, yeah. I mean, that could go back to artistic style. Like,
Right.
Sure.
some people like that artfully shaky look.
Right.
But
Yeah,
me
like-
personally, I would prefer
Yeah.
gimbal or at least like monopod or something to where there's a monopod. You're in one spot. You're not
Yeah.
moving around quite as much. But
Yeah.
Ooh,
it
Which
can
is
go back
why
to
I
style.
said the entire day, right? Because Dryden will pull off of the gimbal starting of the reception because there's a different feel, there's a different
Right.
vibe. He'll even take it off the gimbal for some of sunset portraits, which is fine. And
yeah,
there's
and not to
really
mention-
great stabilization softwares out there now, which is awesome. But I just personally, in my opinion, like the entire day is too much.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
not to mention, like, unless you're just completely ripped, you're not going to be able to keep it steady
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah,
day.
that's an arm workout. Well, and I guess I
I'll,
had.
I'll agree to disagree with you on that one. I think like Jay and Mac are some of the biggest people in the video industry, and they shoot only handheld, and I love their footage. I love their.
That is crazy.
I can't imagine they do have things like they're not just holding the camera; they have rigs on the side of it with extra handles and things like that to help
Okay,
them to
sure.
stabilize it. But that is still considered handheld.
Sure.
Right.
And
So I guess if they're showing up with nothing to help them, then it's your red flag.
I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen some videographers come with just like the neck strap, and they're kind of using that as like an anchor point,
Sure.
and that no.
Yeah.
I'd say another big one, and this is photo or video, but if they don't have you sign a contract, is
Yes.
yes.
big
Huge deal.
red flag. If they're like, no, we're good, we got it all locked in place, and they don't have you sign any kind of contract, big red flag. They're probably not experienced, and that also means they have no legal obligation to show up to your wedding.
Yeah,
No,
contract is there for you and the vendor.
yeah, not
Yes.
just for them. That helps you too. So definitely make sure a contract is in place.
Well, and I just had another question pop in my mind, and that is like for James and I, we're a husband-wife team. We show up as 2 second shooters automatically. For video, we have come across, obviously not with you guys, but we have had many a video team only have themselves shoot the whole thing by themselves, or they will have someone just show up for ceremony and that's it. In your opinion,
Yeah.
is that a complete experience? Do you need 2 video people?
I don't think it's a complete experience.
Let's see if we agree to disagree again on this one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But it's not like that's happening to those people without them knowing, hey, I'm only getting my ceremony. So there's kind of this like prioritization with photo video teams or photo video vendors period, where people are prioritizing one or the other. So sometimes the leftover on video means you get a less complete picture. But if you can find the complete picture, I think that's best. Don't you?
Not entirely.
Okay.
Do you guys
love this.
do you guys know Andrew Guilford?
Yes.
Awesome guy, great films. He shoots solo a bunch of the time and will shoot with up to 6 cameras like during a
Oh
ceremony.
yeah, he's really good.
Like he'll do a 6 camera setup, including drone and handheld and like 4 tripods, and he's all on his own. And I feel like I haven't seen his films suffer at all from it.
Sure.
So sorry, babe, I love you.
Sure, but I was really, I'm less referring to the presence or not presence of a second shooter and more of like, well, somebody's just coming for the ceremony and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I guess at a certain point you can have enough cameras to where it will balance out.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine monitoring 6 cameras in
No,
a day
me
though.
neither.
Like
Me
that.
neither. No, dude's like a beast. He'll shoot like bride walking down the aisle in one hand and have the drone controller in the other hand and like beginning a shot of her walking down the aisle.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
awesome. It's so cool.
Okay, this guy needs to have a behind the scenes person come around and film this because I want to see this now.
Yeah.
I think he does actually have one that he just put out a little bit ago. Definitely worth checking out.
I'm sure he has BTS.
That's amazing. Well, along the same lines of kind of what we're talking about, and that is the next question is, when do people book video? Because I feel
yes.
as a photo only team, we have some couples that are like, in the beginning, they're like, no, we only want photo. And
Yeah.
we're like, okay. And then all of a sudden, several months in, they're like, actually, we want to add video.
Yeah.
But all my good people they're gone.
Yeah. I feel like video, at least, we're lucky that we get to do both sides, the photo and the video. But I know a lot, especially when we first started, we were video only. And a lot of people that we know that are in the industry as video only, they are the last thing booked before of everything in the wedding. People will book usually goes venue, then photographer, then it'll go things like florist, officiant, DJ, etc.
Catering,
and then catering, and video comes in right at the end. Personally, I think if you're not hiring a duo team, video should be right after photo.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you're going to end up running out of budget. I think what people don't realize, a lot of people don't understand why it costs as much as it does. But I'd say there's just as much, if not far more, equipment for video than there is for photo.
Yeah.
Time, editing time, things like that is just, there's a lot that puts into it. So the cost is there, but it's for a good reason. And I think making room in your budget and prioritizing that pretty much right after your photographer is a good idea.
There's a lot more involved with video than meets the eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just do like commercial video work because I won't touch wedding video with a 10-foot pole because of all of the other stuff that goes into it. Like, if it's not in a studio, I won't shoot video.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all.
Well, tell me, what is something you wish couples knew just coming into this whole process, working with you guys? It could be photo or video related. What is just something you wish they would know?
Yeah. You want to go first or should I? I can go first. You can go. Cool. We have a lot of people asking if they can, hey, this is like our song. We love this song. Can we use it in our wedding film? Or, can you pick from one of these 3 songs? And the short answer is no, because those songs are usually very popular, very popular licensed songs. And, technically, could we use that song? Yes, but you need to pay the multi-thousands of dollars it costs to license that song and use it. So a lot of videographers will have a subscription to a website like MusicBed, and there's several other great options whose names are slipping my mind. But
Envato is what I use.
Envato, okay. Yeah. Envato, Soundstripe. There's another one. Artlist, that's the one I'm thinking of. Where they pay for a subscription and then they therefore have the right to use all that music legally. But if they were to use like Taylor Swift or something, it's the same thing with the drone where if you're not licensed and they find it, your video is going to get taken down and there can even be, financial lawsuits against you for using that music without being allowed to. So technically, you could license it, but it'll just cost you thousands of dollars and you have to pay for that to happen.
Yeah, so. Even on YouTube, like when I upload stuff for my stuff, I have to upload the license text file with it so that YouTube doesn't flag it right away. So like all the AI that YouTube uses and stuff, it'll get taken down instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting, especially with AI, like you said, they're getting really on top of that. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know about necessarily inquiring, but something I'm thinking about and that's bouncing around in my mind is that I want my couples to know, and then people that are going to book me, and I'm sure that you guys would chime in with this as well, that like we're here for you and we're here for the bride and groom's wedding day. And so if I'm suggesting that we go to a different location versus what you had originally planned, it's not for me. It's because I want your stuff to turn out the best that it possibly can. I'm not going to make a selfish decision on, I don't like this very much, so I'm just going to go to the other place. That is not at all where our hearts are when we make decisions like that. We're not going to obviously do anything without talking to you.
Right.
So that's maybe not like for inquiring couples, but it's definitely for anybody who's hiring a photographer ever.
Yeah, no, for real. And like there are some very intentional things. Like there are some venues, even in Roanoke, where the bridal suite, like it's fine. They have mirrors, but there's actually one that I'm thinking of that has absolutely no windows.
Yeah.
And it may have a beautiful couch in there, but I'm going to pull the bride and her mom. Her dress isn't even on all the way. Like we're going to do those little moments with mom in the lobby with better lighting. Like just decisions like that is immediately what I thought of when you said that.
Yeah, we're there to, make things look the best it possibly can. And I think for the most part, we're worthy of all that trust.
Yeah.
If we're talking about wedding day, just while we're at it, we need time to eat.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I feel like, and it's, I
a
get
good
it.
one.
We are not their focus when they're planning their wedding. They're not
Right.
thinking about their photographer.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
they're
I
thinking
didn't think about it when
Yeah, I
we were
didn't
getting
think
married. I was
about it
like,
at all when
of
we got
course they
married.
have to eat. When somebody pointed that out to me, I was like,
Yeah.
duh.
Yeah.
Which is nice that we help usually with them building their timeline, so we can kind of like set some of that time up in the reception.
Yeah, I have
or,
like a specific scheduled Wild and Rome sits down
Yeah.
to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give your vendors at least like 30 minutes to just sit down, have a snack. They've been on their feet for probably 4 to 7 hours at this point, you know.
And more to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
much more to go.
Think of it
so-
as your job. You get your 30-minute break, and you need to like sit down and refresh yourself, and that's
Yeah.
just what it is for us
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
And ultimately, it'll help your pictures for the
Yeah.
rest of the night. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, because if you get exhausted, during
Hangry.
dancing, hangry, it's
Yes.
a real one.
Especially with husband-wife team, angry is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
I won't necessarily take it out on the couple, but James will get it.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say
Oh,
if you
yeah.
if you look very carefully, you'll see those little.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
said we should go over here. Well, I thought you said we should go over.
Or for me, it's just the side
Yeah.
eye. My mom look right at James.
Oh, sometimes it's more than the side eye.
And then on top of like eating food, like a hot meal, like
Yes.
a sandwich and an apple with a bag of chips is not it.
I will be honest. We are very lucky. We've never gotten like the cold cut meal. We've never been to a wedding once. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
cried. I don't even like ham, and it was a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
an apple and a bag of chips.
Yep.
It's not, I mean, think about what you need to sustain yourself for dinner. Nobody's having cold cuts for dinner, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Another thing that just popped in my mind and the first half of this might be a little bit of a hot take, so you guys are free to disagree with me if you'd like. But the first half of it being that I feel like as technology progresses and as the industry grows, the real large noticeable difference between in photo quality between different vendors is starting to minimalize a little bit. So I feel like when you're looking at vendors to choose, maybe be focused not just on their photos and their style, but the kind of experience they're going to create for you when you have them as a vendor. Because you might have two vendors who create very similar styles, very similar photos, but one is just going to be a far better experience
Right.
versus, in terms of the relationship they're going to build with you, the time they're going to spend with you on your wedding day. If you're going to have an engagement shoot and maybe go grab drinks together afterwards, or, just kind of really finding someone whose goal is to help you enjoy the wedding process and make it an experience and not just give you good photos.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that because especially with AI, you can go find a photographer that's going to cover your wedding day for $2,000. They might have destination stuff all over their wedding or their website, but with especially the new Photoshop beta, I could go on there. I've never been out of the country, but I could go on there and tell Photoshop to take this couple and put them on a backdrop in front of Big Ben in London if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That was really random, but sure.
Well, yeah, but
I would have gone, Isle of Skye, Scotland, but it's fine. Big Ben.
sure, whatever. I don't know, but the whole
Swiss
point
Alps.
is
Yeah, something.
the whole point is finding someone who's going to give you a better experience, going to be with it through you. If you have a vendor bail on you, we've had that happen to where we had to find a florist for a bride that didn't have a planner, and
The week of her wedding, the floor is canceled.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure you guys have had all kinds of stuff where you had to help brides walk through crisis. And if you have someone who's just going to show up, shoot your wedding day, and deliver a gallery, you're gonna suffer in other areas potentially because of it.
Yeah. No, I like that. That was a good one. Do you have any more hot takes? I'm loving it.
Absolutely. Always. Are we going hot takes?
We can.
Okay.
I'm down.
All right. Let me clarify here for all the lovely brides listening, especially in case any of ours are listening. These are just opinions on how we would do things. If you choose to do them differently, it's okay. We still love you. We're not upset at you. And we're going to make your day awesome. But just because we wouldn't personally choose to do it doesn't mean it's not a good fit for you. That being said,
I'm ready.
and this is probably more of a hot take amongst photographers too. I hate first looks. I think they are a terrible decision for a few reasons. One, I have never, ever, ever seen the groom get emotional after doing a first look when the bride's walking down the aisle. It's just, for us, has never happened. 2,
no, I feel like I have.
Huh?
I feel like I have. Didn't Michael sob and they had a first look?
Michael sobbed.
All right.
Say,
well,
we've had a few.
I stand corrected.
had
That
a
might be the
few.
one, but
Okay.
we've had probably 5 grooms
Okay.
get emotional.
Does not usually happen for us. And 2, the portraits that you do because after your first look would normally fit in between the ceremony and cocktail hour, and or the ceremony and the reception during cocktail hour. And that cocktail hour has to happen either way. So you're not actually saving time. Your photographer actually, technically, from a timeline standpoint, has to get there earlier to leave room for the first look and all those portraits before the ceremony. And that cocktail hour happens regardless. So unless you really want to be at cocktail hour, you're not really saving any time having a first look. I feel like so many photographers are like, oh, you're going to save so much time. You're going to be so glad.
I'm one of those.
Well, there you go. I feel like personally, you don't actually save that much time because otherwise portraits are during cocktail hour and cocktail hour happens regardless.
It honestly, like what you're saying, it does make sense. Whereas like you aren't saving time, but it's the time of, do you want time with your spouse? I hit home on, do you want to hide away all day? Do you want time with your spouse? Do you want to? We get a lot of people, especially since COVID, and there's nothing wrong with this. I'm fine to do as many family formals as requested. But if you take up all your time during cocktail hour for family formals and or during the reception, you're losing time on the dance floor. You're losing time. You're pushing things back. So for me, getting all of the must-have family beforehand, just getting everything done beforehand, it allows more time for like dancing, partying, time with their guests. So it really is all it's what's important to them.
Yeah,
truly.
that's really interesting because I feel like the few times we've tried to do a first look and get family photos out of the way before the ceremony, those
Nobody
family
shows
members
up
they
on time.
never get there on time. Like no matter how much you tell the bride, tell them they need to be here at this time, dress, blah blah blah. The families, they're not in it. Like they don't do a good job. They show up late, and now you get like half a list done, or maybe you have to get a couple photos without someone. You got to take it again with them later, and I feel like it just becomes this whole thing. Whereas after the ceremony, when you do family
Everybody's
photos, they're
in one
all
spot.
there already.
Yeah. Well, and there are some, like, especially if grandparents aren't as mobile, I usually say, like, let's save that later. Maybe I'm just like a mom about it, but I do harp on my girls to
I love it.
we're getting these done, homegirl. Like, let's go.
The other big thing I think for us is you are very type A, Emily. So we attract very type A brides who
This
are
is very
very on
true.
top of things.
Sure.
Not
Sure.
everyone attracts that kind of bride.
This is true. And honestly, like I said, for first looks, it really is just a matter of what's important.
Yeah,
So much
absolutely.
difference.
And sometimes it's more than just logistics. Like I know we have some brides that do it just because they're nervous and they don't want that pressure on that moment of seeing him for the first time down the aisle and it being this whole thing, and they feel like it'll just really let the nerves off if they get to spend time with him beforehand.
Yeah, that's why we did one, because I hate being in front of people. You're not a huge fan of it either, but you'll do it. I did not want to be the center of attention and all that, so that's why we did one.
Totally makes sense. Absolutely.
But that was a really good hot take.
Thanks. Do you have any other hot takes, babe?
Ooh. I think I have 2 in my mind.
Okay, we'll do one, and then maybe we can do some back and forth.
Okay. And as Dryden said, we are happy to do whatever. I mean, I am very happy to do whatever. I hate the whole, like, a wedding ick for me is I hate the whole table dash thing that everybody's doing right now. Where you're like, I run around to every table in 30 seconds and I get a picture with every single person there. That's just like so unrealistic. Especially depending on the way your reception is laid out. I mean, imagine like you know what I'm talking about, but like changing flash settings on top of my camera settings and moving around. I mean, often I've just shot it direct and just known I need to stand a certain amount back, but they don't look good. There was like this one trend where there's a bunch of candids and it looks really cute, but it just doesn't.
Your people also have to be in it. Like if they're like, I'm too cool for school, I'm not going to do this, and it's not going to turn out like you're hoping. There
was one DJ that showed us a different way to do it, where he had and there was like specifically room in the reception room to do this. There's sometimes not enough room. But he told all the tables before we did the table dash that we were going to do it, but he had everybody come to the bride and groom in front of their head table.
Or dance floor. We've done that
or
before
the dance
too.
floor.
That goes a lot smoother.
It was like one
there's
table
still
at a time. Yeah. It was one table at a time. They come up, they do a nice picture, a funny picture, and then they move on. I'm standing still in one spot. Every photo looks the same because we're in the same lighting, the same environment every single time. And that just was like easier from a vendor's perspective.
Yeah, technical standpoint. Yeah.
You know, just for us, that was easier.
Yeah, if you have to do that, that is the way to do it. Not going around to every table. Like if you have a bunch of older guests that don't move very well.
Right. I said we'll go to grandparents too.
Yeah.
You know, you go to grandparents, they can't move. Yeah.
We typically tell if the grandparents are not mobile, we'll have everybody up or come up, and then after we do everybody else's table, we'll go to the grandparents' table.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, the table thing, like they want to do it after dinner usually. And so there's a bunch of empty dishes on the table.
Yep.
And so I have told a handful of my brides, do it as you walk in. I mean, let's literally like run in. Let's do the table dash. If they want to run around to the table dash, you know, let's do it. They won't have a bunch of dirty plates on their tables and all sorts of stuff. And then do your first dance and let's eat.
Yeah. And what is something we've been kind of like not nagging about weddings? Like we love what we do. What is something that it doesn't have to be a trend necessarily, but what is something you've seen in weddings that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this? Can y'all think of anything?
I love any personal touch you can put into your details, into your wedding day, like anything that I can look at. And I've hardly, like I know you, but I've hardly known you, and I can tell that this is you.
Yeah.
This has your name written all over it. This has the two of you written all over it. Like I eat that up personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be kind of like a very general answer. It can be applied to a lot of things, but I love it when you can just tell that the bride and groom planned the wedding for them and not for the guests. Like it was very clearly because they want to enjoy the way they like things, not just to appease everybody and make family members happy and things like that. You know, when they chose their bridal party very carefully with the people they love most, that they're going to have fun with, that they're going to be having a blast with.
Right.
When if they want to play nothing but classical music or nothing but trap music or whatever at the reception, great. And they're going at it on the dance floor, you know? Or, you know, whether they did a first look or didn't do a first look, or just when it's very clear they're like, we did it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's the way we want to do things. Because I feel like when you do that, it's just, you're going to get so much more fun content and you're going to get so much more like unique to you. Like, yeah, I loved that day and I'm so glad I did everything I did. Yeah.
One thing that I just thought of, which was the last wedding we worked with y'all, is incorporating your animals. I'm a dog person. So anytime there is a dog on wedding day, there are some things you could do to make it easier on yourself. But like Georgia at that wedding, like I just ate every moment up with her.
Yeah.
Just love her so much.
Absolutely. But I mean, if we're going into the details, I mean, like I love it when couples do vintage cars. Always a big fan of that. Vintage cars, big fan. Love like setting aside time. Like if the bride's gonna do like a dress change in during the reception, setting aside time to like go do a little flash shoot up in the bridal suite while she's changing. And like making a whole little thing out of it.
Or stop by the bar and do something. An elevator moment, like stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it when the bride is down for us to do like a photo of the groomsmen throwing her in the air. Like just a lot of those really fun
We have
things.
yet to have a bride do that.
Yeah?
Maybe my type A girls are not it.
And that is okay. That is okay. We usually either get, like when we even slightly even like ponder the question, it's like, I do not trust those men. Or it's like, it's either that or it's, heck yeah, like let's go, let's do it. You know? There really is no in between.
You have to make sure they're still sober enough.
Yeah, oh my word.
Right,
That's
typically
awesome.
we're doing it right after the ceremony.
Yeah.
This is really random, but I love champagne towers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just think they look so classy and so amazing. I have so much fun taking pictures of champagne towers.
I've only had a few of those at weddings, but there's like you said, it's a classy touch.
Nice little elegant.
It's not even that expensive.
It's
like
it's
an
really
extra
not.
Extra layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of those like foam LED sticks that people bring out on the dance floor.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
They
god.
look
feel
good
like-
on video.
Yeah. I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like
They
those
look
are
really
Especially-
good on video.
Yeah, for like that's what I feel like y'all are known for. It's like just the fun
Yeah.
on the dance floor, and I feel like props like that, they help people like come alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It just gives them something. Because a lot of people, when they're like, "Oh, I don't want to dance. I don't know what to do with my hands." It's like, "Well, here, hold this." And it's
Yeah.
like, "Great, there you go. Now you just wave this in the air."
Cheat code.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, or like even like hats, glasses, something that almost like hides them a little bit, so they feel comfortable to come out of their shell.
Yeah, photo booths. That just made me think of like when people have like photo booths with the props and the
Yep.
hats and everything. I love those. Those can be really fun.
I feel like photo booth can go either way though. If there are some bad photo booths
There are.
Yes.
where it just does not end well.
There are.
Have you seen those digital photo booths where it's a mirror? It's like a full length mirror, but it like is somehow taking a photo of you too. I
Yep.
don't get how it works, but it's like a screen and a mirror.
Yep.
So fun fact, at one of my old 9-to-5s, they had one of those and I was in charge of setting it up. It is a logistics nightmare on the back end, but once you actually get it going, it is actually really cool.
It did look; those look awesome.
Yes.
Or the ones that's like you stand in one thing and it's like a
Oh,
camera
like the
that,
360.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're
Yep,
called, but yeah,
360 photo booth is what they call those.
I think
yeah.
those are pretty cool.
Those are fun.
Those are really cool. Absolutely.
They're fun to take pictures of too, because it's not just like standing there with props.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about game day entrances?
I feel like it's a trend that we have been asked so many times, specifically in the last year and a half. And if you want to do it, kind of like we mentioned earlier, if you want to do it, we'll do it.
Yep.
But if we don't do it, I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
I feel like if the guys are really into it, it can be fun.
Yeah.
But
The guys really set the tone. Because
Yes.
sometimes you'll have
Correct.
like the groom who's like, "Oh, I really want to do this," and all the other guys are just kind of like, "Whatever."
yeah,
They're too cool for school.
But then sometimes you
Yeah.
get the guys that like they've got sunglasses and a beer and they got like their
Yeah.
their coat hanger over their shoulders. But yeah, I agree with you. It's one of those things that like I feel like it had its time. It was one of those trends that was more fun for like 3 months that like you saw it on social media, you're like, "Oh, that's so funny. We got to try that." But then
Right.
after like 3 to 6 months, it was like, "Okay, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
All done it.
We can move along here."
We can
but
move on.
it is still fun, especially when you have the right guys.
I think
Yes.
it
Correct.
stemmed a lot from the groom not feeling like there's enough quote unquote like pictures of him getting ready or enough attention on the groom's side of the family. I mean, we've had mothers say to us
Yeah.
like it's really important to us that the groom is highlighted as well. So I think
Yeah.
that really stems from that, and it's a good way to do that. I just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I-
have to be into it.
Yeah, we've definitely
Yes.
had mothers where they're like, "Hey, my son got married last year, and
And I
you know,
have
the
no
whole
pictures of him
video is
getting
like
ready."
about the bride getting ready and like all
Yeah.
that stuff, and a lot of the photos of the bride getting ready." Which sure, it is very easy to naturally lean towards the attention being on the bride,
Right.
But I do think, yeah, you're right. It was like brides had for a long time. They had those like bridesmaid getting ready transitions, and they had bridesmaid first looks, and they had all these different things that you could do with the bridesmaids. And the guys were like, finally something where I can feel super cool,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
James Bond, you know. Which is probably why they got so excited about it, which is
Yeah.
totally understandable.
Yeah.
That's why we do try to incorporate, something like maybe like I don't know if you've ever done like a beer chase where we'll like put a beer and we'll sit down here and they all have to like race towards the beer and whoever gets it has to like chug it or something like that.
I haven't
But-
tried that one.
You haven't tried that one?
not yet.
I'll show you a clip of it later. It's pretty fun.
Do it after the ceremony because they
I was
might
about to say.
Yeah, I was thinking. I feel like there would be a couple grass stains involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I love that. And honestly, like my brother got married several years ago, and at that wedding, even like my mom, it was just like she didn't feel involved like she was at our wedding.
Right.
And so we even got like the pictures back, and they were really beautiful. But almost every photo, it was my brother looking at the bride. It wasn't ever any of him looking at the camera.
Yeah.
It wasn't any moments with like mom didn't get any like helping him straighten the tie or
Yeah.
do anything like that. So kind of like the groom and the groom's family, I feel like sometimes get tossed aside. So that is, I guess a perk of working with someone who is experience focused like you guys, just because that's important and you do include that on the wedding day.
Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And it does take effort. There are times during
Yeah.
engagement shoots where we'll be shooting engagement shoots. Also, I can shoot for Emily, and I do a lot of our posing when we're
Yeah.
shooting engagement shoots, and I'll notice I'm pretty much just posing her and like putting him around her, you know, then, you know, it does take a conscious effort still, even after having done it for a while. But it's definitely worth having someone who at least notices that they're doing that and does something about it, you know?
Well, and I feel like that is truly the difference when you're looking for a good photo and video team.
Right.
And it's kind of hard, aside from like putting it out on the website for couples to read, like we actually care. Like you can't necessarily type that necessarily, but like I really do like want our couples to know, and I'm sure you guys too, like we actually do care about you as people and we want to capture your day that in a way that makes sense for you and your personalities. Yeah,
I feel like, you know, I don't know if we've ever really thought about it from this perspective, but I think it might be kind of on purpose. But like, you know, we talked earlier about finding someone who's not going to just take good photos, but have a good experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like we try to start that even from like the inquiry process, where the inquiry is asking questions about them and their relationship and learning about them, not just about her and like her dreams for the wedding and what she envisions. It's like we're learning about both of them. So that way when they're going, even just through when they're inquiring with us, the groom's like, okay, cool. They want to hear about my, you know, my story too. And you know, where I'm involved. So they feel like they are our client, not she's our client. And he's just kind of there.
Yeah. Well, and I guess too, we can kind of finish up this episode with just a few more questions.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
What are some popular things that you have noticed brides and grooms like adding on to their package with you guys? Like what is something that you love to do? I know y'all travel the world. Maybe one day we'll get on your level.
There we go.
But yeah, like just share some really popular add-ons you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full ceremony cut.
Full ceremony is a big one, you know, so from a video perspective, people want their full ceremony, which I don't blame them. I totally suggest it.
Yeah.
We go back, we watch ours every year on our anniversary. It's totally fun. And we like have a rule that you're not allowed to watch it in between those two, like in between one year and the next. We can never pull it up. We can't look at it. And then, which I love because then we go to watch it again and we're like, oh, I totally forgot about that. You know, and that's so much fun. So full ceremony is a big one.
Yeah. Full ceremony speeches and dances is really popular because it's our stand-in for raw footage. You know, I feel like those are the really important parts of the day. And we're open to, we're doing a surprise dance, we're doing a flash mob or whatever, you know, we can talk about some custom coverage for that.
Yeah.
But like otherwise you're not really missing out on much.
Right.
When you're talking about raw footage.
Yeah, I'd say I feel like I'm noticing rehearsal dinner coverage become a little bit more popular recently.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
that's coming up more.
That's coming up a little bit more. And I'm even noticing some people that are getting all their speeches out of the way at the rehearsal dinner instead of at the reception, which not opposed to it, by the way. And that's great because if you have your video person there, they come, they mic you up, you know, they handle that, you get it. And it's just a little bit lower pressure than doing it in front of all those people. And, you know, I feel like you also get a speech from a video perspective that's a lot more personal and relational because they're giving that speech to everybody at the rehearsal dinner who's really close to the bride and groom. To people who are like really intimate with them, and you're not trying to entertain a whole crowd of 150 people,
right?
You know, and I just feel like you get more of an intimate speech when you do that, which I like.
Not to mention more dance floor time.
Yes.
More dance floor time, and they haven't had to go through a long, like wedding days are tiring, not just for vendors, but for the bridal party too. So they're not going to be as tired. They're going to be more fresh at the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, wait one sec. I just remembered another trend that I really love. Can I say it really fast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is a candid show. We're keeping all this.
And I do have another add-on that I'll talk about in a second. But another trend that I just remembered that's been happening a lot, and maybe it is like we've talked about how our couples are different than your couples, but we've had a lot of couples doing like an after party recently. Yeah. Like we just did one in New Jersey where they went to a laundromat speakeasy in New Jersey, like right after their wedding, where it was like it looked like
very niche.
A laundromat, and you open it up, and it was like niche. It looked like a washer dryer, and it was a door down to like a big nightclub or whatever it was, and it had like
that
part of it sectioned off for them. Yeah,
it was really Jersey.
Or we've had couples
awesome.
that just went out and went to a karaoke bar, you know, out in Ohio,
right.
Or you know, just something like that. I've loved that because usually at that point, the couple's like, yeah, come take a couple pictures, but other than that, come hang out, have a drink, you know.
Yeah,
we love that.
That laid back feel is really, really nice. And we even had a couple do an after party at the hotel that they were staying at. So we were able to go back and do some flash pictures in their hotel room and with with the hotel cart and all that stuff. It's really fun.
That's
and
so
then
cool.
because we were staying there too, we could put the equipment away and just come down and hang out for a little while and decide when to leave, because we're right there.
Yeah. Well, and that just, again, goes to show how much you guys care about your couples. Y'all are actually friends with them. Like, we get it too. So, yeah, that's so cool.
So after that brief intermission, thank you for letting me bring that in.
I love that.
Another one that we're seeing slowly rise, we actually haven't had too much of a response with it, but we've added it just in case, but we've definitely heard about it more, is content creators for wedding days.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so it's people that want someone there. It's usually just iPhone footage. It's iPhone footage and photos where they'll come get you a bunch of BTS, and sometimes they'll actually do it on your phone and so that you have it all on your phone right afterwards. And then some packages, like I know ours includes, will up to 3 TikTok/Instagram reels that'll be edited by the end of your reception. So you have BTS footage to look through and 3 reels that you can post whenever you want over your honeymoon or whatever.
That's awesome.
Which I think is cool. I like the idea. I get it. I get why people are doing that. A lot of people like just that vertical, candid BTS stuff. And we recently added it just because we were like, we love working as a photo video team because it's one team. It's very integral. And we were like, okay, if someone's going to be coming in and getting more media coverage, we might as well be a part of that and help make that happen.
It's essentially like, brides were assigning a bridesmaid essentially to take pictures, BTS pictures throughout the day. Right. It's basically just hiring a vendor for that. Yeah. For that part of it. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it. Your friends don't have to think about it. You guys can just be present and enjoy, being together. And sometimes that means we come with multiple phones. Sometimes that means an iPhone gimbal. It can mean a million things depending on how in depth you want to go with it.
I've even seen where they'll do an Instagram takeover, where they'll be logged into your Instagram and post stories and things like that. It gets a whole thing. But and I think it'd be good for couples, especially because a lot of couples don't know that some photographers get them sneak peeks as quickly as they get them, and they're not aware of some of that. Yeah. So, a lot of times that can be a surprise and they don't know. So having something that day is really helpful for them to plan on having.
Oh, yeah. Well, and honestly, we love doing what we do with our sneak peeks, but...
We love that too, by the way. You inspired us when we saw that.
Oh, guys. Well... And I for video, just knowing how on the back end logistics of how hard it is to do something like that. Yeah, I think that's genius. And there's barely any editing you really need to do because iPhones, it is what it is. It's not like a 4K video, but you expect the new ones that. Are 4K. Okay, well, some of them can be. It also depends on storage.
Your phone is 4K
because I have the storage, but not everyone does.
Wow,
I know some things. Anyways.
And there's that husband-wife dynamic.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, man. Don't even get me started with him. But yeah, no, I really appreciate all that. And tell me, so y'all travel everywhere. Where is maybe one place you guys have been just itching to get to shoot a wedding?
Iceland. Easy.
Instantaneous.
I know, she's ready.
Yeah, we are itching to go to Iceland.
We want to go so bad.
And then another thing that I don't think I've told Emily. You go first.
Okay, really quick. We have that more moody, kind of darker style, and just all the black rock in Iceland. I just really think would go along with our style really well.
The black sand beaches, the volcanoes. It's just
I'm getting excited to think about it.
Another thing, I don't think I've ever told Emily about this, but when she knows the first part. When we originally started shooting weddings, my goal was to shoot a wedding in every state of the United States.
Oh, that's cool.
Which we haven't done yet. I think after next year, we'll be at 26, 24,
that's
something
awesome.
like that, which is cool. Super excited. But I have recently elevated that goal to shooting a wedding once in every continent.
Okay. I thought you were about to say country. I was like, dude, go for it.
Dude, that's 150
I know,
countries or something.
Go for it.
But I would love to shoot a wedding in every continent, including Antarctica.
I was about to ask that.
I don't know if that would just mean doing an Antarctic, an Arctic cruise where they get off and they read their vows in Antarctica or something like that. But whatever it would take to do it, I would love to do a wedding in every continent. I think that'd be really cool.
I'm thinking gear wise, how you would have to prep your gear to be in that cold.
Lots of batteries because battery charge does not do well in cold. Percentages drop.
Yeah, that's why if it was just a vow reading, it would probably be easiest.
Yeah,
you just hop off, you read your vows, you do that part of the elopement there.
That is so cool.
There's got to be a housing
It's gonna be something.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've got underwater housing. They've got to have like.
I'm pretty sure they have
cold resistant.
No, that might have been like Finland or something. But there's like ice hotels and stuff.
Yes.
I think there is one in Antarctica, but I'm not positive.
Sure.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
That's amazing.
I would love that.
And there's like a little part of me, like, I know we're already married, but like, I want to be that person.
Yeah.
You know,
Who,
like there's
does
someone
that.
out there that's like, that's going to be me.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing all of your knowledge with our couples listening. We're going to do a part 2 where we're diving into more like technical stuff for like other vendors, like fellow video photo teams. So if you're down to listen to that, listen to part 2. But thank you guys so much for coming on the show and sharing all your knowledge with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.